So what you're saying is this movie was made out of spite.
Yeah. Hey Jay, are you ready?
No.
Oh. Well, Mari Krombu Weebs, my name is Cole, his name is Mike, his name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 120 of the Anime Protagonist podcast. And on this week's episode, we actually gave you... There you go. We actually gave you homework last week.
Mm-hmm.
We did. And that homework, which I'm sure we all did, was to watch Princess Mononoke for this episode.
Yeah, we're all good boys and girls.
Yeah, we're all good boys and girls.
We all did our job, and we watched this movie. And now we're going to review it.
Animation film.
From the genius, Hayao Miyazaki. The genius.
Your favorite guy.
He's my favorite guy.
He's your best friend. You meet every Monday for coffee.
That's right. So we'll do that in the second half. But in the first half, we were sitting here. I was sitting at work this morning. I was thinking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do for our first half of...
And then Cole threw a whole stack of papers up in the air and said, I don't know. I've thought of all of the... I don't know what to do. I thought of everything.
So then
I'm out of ideas.
And then Mike came up with listen, Mike likes things outside of anime. So you've been watching like sports stuff, I guess. What's that like?
Okay, so that was a bit of an awkward segue, but I've been watching there's this like sports broadcaster, Stephen A. Smith. He has wild takes on, like, he just hates LeBron and stuff like that, and all these wild takes because he's a sports broadcaster. That's what they do, is they have wild takes because that's how you get the clicks. And lately, because I don't know what started this, but he started like responding to people who like send him questions on Twitter. And like one of the ones I guess the first one that I saw was someone asked him, what's your favorite, which starter are you choosing? Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle? Classic question, right?
Kind of went viral a little bit.
Went viral. And then also another one, which he's like, there was a question where I was like, which one you got in a fight? And it was Goku and Vegeta.
I saw that one.
Classic question.
I saw that one on my Twitter timeline.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I think like the response to it is like, even he has the Dragon Ball wherewithal to know who'd win in a fight.
Well,
doesn't he say Vegeta? Well, actually, first of all, he says... Does he? Okay, because he says Vegeta too, which is strange
he calls
to me.
him Vegeta. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Goku canonically wins every time, right? In Dragon Ball Z.
Well, Mike, you saw the most recent movie.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's implied. There's an implication that's maybe that changes finally, but
finally. I think it's like a gag. It's not even like real. It's not plot relevant.
Yeah.
No, they were just like, we need them in this movie somehow, right? For the record, I would choose Squirtle, I think, of those starters, and I would also choose Goku.
I would choose Charmander and Goku.
Squirtle and Goku.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you guys are gonna kick my ass, but that's
right.
I mean,
so essentially, what the whole how I dug Cole out of his hole of not knowing what to do for this first half is I said, hey Cole, Stephen A. Smith knows how to go viral. He knows how to make good content. Yeah. So why don't we just copy that guy?
I mean, that's what we're good at. Let's just copy someone. Yeah. But
instead of just answering, listen, we're not going to reply to any of his things. We're not going to just copy him straight up, other than those two that we just copied straight up. We're going to... I scoured the internet for some questions to ask, and we're gonna see where we go with them. We're gonna go until Cole basically hits the mailbag button on me. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I have a good list here. There's
a few. Okay.
Yeah. There's a list. Okay. First one. We'll start it off easy here, boys.
Okay.
You just received an owl at your doorstep. You've been invited to the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Witchcraft and witchery. Yeah.
Witchcraft.
Yeah, whatever I just said. Yeah. So you're on the train and all that junk, right? You sit down, you're eating your meat and roast lamb, and then all of a sudden you get called up to the sorting hat.
Okay.
Which house are you? Which house is the sorting hat sorting you into?
I kind of have two answers to this.
Okay.
And it differs depending on how you look at it. So, when I was in elementary school, we read the first Harry Potter book, and as a fun way to integrate that into class time, my teacher split the class into the four houses, and we did like the Sorting Hat and everything, and I was put in Gryffindor. So, one answer is Gryffindor because I was actually put in that in a school setting.
So, like, did they have the actual Sorting Hat there?
So he had
like,
a
did
hat.
It speak to you and it was on your head?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like there were points, and like there was a house cup that you won at the end of the year. Like it was elaborate.
Some weird blonde kid died in one of them.
Yeah.
Jay said, "That's my boy."
Yeah, that was very strange when that happened. We played Quidditch in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we might have played Quidditch actually, just as like a meme. But anyway, sorry, go on, Jay.
But so if you want to look at strictly history, I'd say Gryffindor. But I've been told multiple times that the house that like makes the most sense to me is Ravenclaw. So like based on my personality, probably Ravenclaw.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. For me, I actually did like the Pottermore thing. And you guys may be surprised to know this, but I was sorted into Gryffindor. Surprising.
I could see that. Yeah, you got like the sense of like justice, I guess, that Gryffindor would come with. Yeah, and you like red too.
I like red, yeah, but I mean, my heart. I mean, I always like the bad guys. Slytherin's way more fun.
I thought you were gonna say Slytherin. Slytherin's what I would have guessed.
Yeah,
it just seems more fun.
Yeah, or maybe Hufflepuff.
Nah, Hufflepuff would be the bottom of the list.
Nobody sorts himself into Hufflepuff for some reason.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that Cole would have picked Hufflepuff, but there was a part of me that thought Pottermore would put him there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Why? What is Hufflepuff? Like, what's their thing?
Oh, what is their thing?
What's their trait? Is it loyalty? Isn't that like, it's super lame?
It is very lame.
Like,
I know like
Gryffindor's bravery.
Values hard work, dedication, patience, loyalty, and fair play, rather than a particular aptitude. Definitely not Cole.
That ain't me.
Definitely not.
No, I hate fair play. I cheat. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what I say.
Slytherin, classic Slytherin answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, what about you?
I feel like I think I've done the Pottermore quiz as well when I was playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
And I think it gave me Ravenclaw, which I kind of think might be probably the right answer. But I could also see myself, you know what? I'll be the guy. I'll say Hufflepuff. Let's put me in Hufflepuff. Why not? Yeah. I value hard work, dedication.
You know, it's kind of like a horoscope. Like the way that they've written these four houses, like, doesn't everybody have these traits?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Oh, 100%. It's just whichever ones you think the most. Yeah. That's why I always kind of, you know what, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit when everybody sorts themselves into Gryffindor, because it's like the cool house, right?
Yeah.
That's like saying
I'm the protagonist house.
Yeah, that's like saying I most identify with Harry Potter. Well, yeah, of course, because he's the main character.
He's the main character. Yeah.
It's main character syndrome, right?
You know who the real brave ones
character.
You know who the real brave ones are? The people who don't sort themselves into Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Us three.
Yeah.
We chose different houses. Yeah.
Yeah, we're built different here on AniPro.
That's right. Yeah.
But the real answer is we're all Gryffindor.
Yeah.
We're all four of the houses at the same time.
We are the most basic. We're in the AniPro house.
Yeah.
There's only three. What does the AniPro house stand for? Like, what is our traits?
Degeneracy.
Spite.
Nice.
Spite. Yes, that's right. Spite is the answer.
Yes. Mostly of all things, spite. What? I touched my headphone and all of a sudden someone started speaking in my ear. I don't know. It's never happened before.
That was me.
This is a new thing. I don't like it. Yeah, was it you? Okay. Anyway, next question in my list of many questions from the internets.
I love questions.
If you had a pet parrot, we'll name it Polly.
Okay.
Polly the parrot.
Okay. I'm attached now.
Parrot name.
You've got this parrot. They live like 50 years. They're long-lived animals.
He's my best friend. Got it.
Yeah. He'll outlive me.
What's the first thing you're teaching it to say?
Remember in Monogatari the monologue, the nyan 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 monologue? Jay, do you know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
Which
arc was
This is an obscure take.
When the one girl who turns into a cat girl is
Oh,
talking to...
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Listen, the people out there, they know. Mike, do you know?
They know what you're talking about. If you know what he's talking about, come to our Discord and tell Cole, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
He might not see it, though, because he doesn't have notifications turned on.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah.
I
don't know if that made it in the episode or not, but yeah, Cole's Discord notifications ain't working.
Yeah, listen, it was a week of new things for me. I got a new phone, I got a new mic, and the phone isn't working as well as the mic is. So
that's surprising, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's always, you know what, when you upgrade to a new phone, there's always some hiccups for sure.
Yeah,
it's weird too. Like now they just send you the phone and you set it up yourself. So things can go wrong.
Yeah,
in the setup. And in fact, they did. I had to call the phone company a few times because apparently they didn't set up my plan properly. So anyway, I'll teach the parrot to go nyan 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 nyan. I'll teach it the Nyan Cat song. That's what I'll do.
There you go. That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's basically the same monologue, right?
Yeah.
Jay, what are you teaching this parrot?
That is a good question. I am going to teach it.
This is your best friend for your whole life.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to teach it to tell me I'm right all the time.
Just give you
Checks
like
out.
positive affirmations.
Yeah.
Good job, Jay. You're right.
You did it.
You're the best. Quack, quack, quack. Is that what parrots make? Is it the noise?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a parrot, right?
That's a parrot. Yeah, I think so. They're similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have beaks. They're both not real because birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. That's true. Parrots can fly at least, though. Chickens can't fly.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well,
Mike,
that's what makes the parrot not real.
Because they can fly?
Because they can fly.
It's a drone.
I guess so, yeah. Because chickens might be real because they can't fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can grab a chicken.
Yeah, I can't grab a...
I've done it in Zelda all the time.
Yeah,
you throw them.
Yeah,
or you can fly
use them
with
to you use them to glide down from high spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What am I teaching this bird of paradise? I'm going to teach it to say, "Welcome home, master."
That's good. But it's just always going to say it. And then you're going to think, who just came into my house? And why is that parrot calling it master?
Maybe just master. Maybe just master.
Just master?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see a parrot doing that. It makes me feel regal. Yeah.
Master!
Feels a little unhinged, too.
You'll be like, what do you want? And it's just standing there looking at you.
Menacingly.
So it's like the bird in Toradora. That's probably what would actually happen, is it'd be like the bird in Toradora, where it can never actually say its own name.
Listen, it can't say its own name, but like that bird in Toradora is pretty smart. It says things all the time. It just doesn't say its name. Like it says like its name. Things all the time.
It's got like performance anxiety, basically.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't know what that's like. I'm always ready to go.
We know.
Yeah.
You're coming ready to rock.
Same. Ha ha ha.
As like sometimes we have to be like, Jay, are you like good to go? Are you able to record today? He's
Listen,
like, yeah, I'm totally fine.
Listen, I can't even pee at a urinal, so
That's
my
true.
performance anxiety is very high, actually. So
yeah.
Anyway,
that's a weird thing that I feel like women don't understand. That is that like peeing in a public setting can be like there's such thing as like pee shyness.
Oh yeah. I got a shy bladder.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode of Rick
shy
and Morty
bladder.
about
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I mean, like, ladies, you need to understand. We stand like there's this wall with all of these things on it, and you just walk up to it, and there's people beside you, and you gotta do your business there. That's difficult.
Yeah, have you guys ever used the trough? I don't know if that's just a Canadian thing at this point, but the trough is a strange situation where you just like walk up and there's just literally a big tub with like ice cubes in it. And it's just like, yep, relieve yourself in there, boys.
I don't think the trough is pretty rare nowadays.
Nowadays, for sure.
I don't
Nowadays,
think
for
I've
good
ever
reason.
even seen that.
They used to
No?
have it at the old arena here in the city before it was torn
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they had it at the old football stadium as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I would have avoided that like the plague. I'd pee my pants before I did that.
Well, that's what the stalls are for, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Usually at usually like you said, the trough is at a sports game,
Mm-hmm.
a sports ball game,
Mhm.
and usually there's a few liquid courages involved before you get to the trough as well.
Yeah, that's true.
A few
That's true.
fizzy pops. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
well,
so we've done
that,
Pet Parrot.
that was enough of the trough. Let's move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't expect the trough to come up in this episode. Okay.
Okay.
If you could pick any animal, think of an animal in your mind, okay? Envision it.
Got it.
Now, what is it?
It's a peacock.
Jay?
Eagle.
That's what animal you are.
Okay.
And why did you pick it?
Because I identify with the peacock.
What does that even mean? I don't even know how to psychoanalyze that one.
I don't know. It's a bird.
You got nice plumage.
Oh, so you don't
bird.
exist?
No. Do peacocks fly? I think they do.
Do peacocks fly? I have no idea.
I think
Now
they
that
do.
Both of you guessed. Do
Is the
peacocks fly?
psych question of the day.
I think they fly. I'm going to
think
say
they
yes,
fly.
peacocks fly.
I also want to say yes, peacocks fly. But for the sake of the game, I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say they don't. Peacocks, or a peafowl to be more precise, definitely can fly.
I do.
However, although peacocks are perfectly able to fly, it doesn't mean these birds do it gladly or often. So they just don't like to fly.
Just a super dramatic bird. It's like, I can do it, but
Yeah.
I just choose not to. It's like, what?
Honestly, I think you picked the correct bird for you, Cole, based on that sentence.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am like that.
I'm capable of this, but God damn it, don't tell me to do it.
I know I can. I just don't want to.
Yeah, don't expect that of me.
Yeah. Okay. So why is Jay an eagle? Majestic, soaring.
Oh, I thought it was cool. I like eagles.
Yeah.
I like the I like the symbol of
Which
freedom
eagle?
that it carries. Like the bald eagle.
There's
I
many
guess.
eagles. Bald eagle.
I guess. I don't know. I like the symbol of freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
America.
I'm gonna go with a liger. I'm gonna go with a liger.
Well, no, you shouldn't be able to answer this. Of course, you're gonna pick some
Why
cool
can't I answer
animal.
this one?
You're gonna pick some cool animal. I'm gonna
I'm
be
actually a
like a
T-Rex.
dragon. You'll be a dragon.
I'm gonna be a T-Rex. Yeah, a Velociraptor, but like from Jurassic Park, not an actual Velociraptor.
Like a full-on, like a Jurassic Park Velociraptor.
I'm gonna pick a human.
Yeah.
Actually, humans are animals.
lame, weak. Best dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
T-Rex.
Velociraptor.
Of course, you'd pick T-Rex. Velociraptor is also an acceptable choice. I'm gonna go with the deep cut. I'm gonna say that one that spits acid all over Newman's face.
Yeah, what is it?
That's a good one. I don't know what it's called. It's got the flaps.
Dilophysis or something like that.
Dilophysis? I don't know. That one's cool. It's weird. It always that scene scared me so much as a kid too, and it just it's burned into my memory. That scene of that little guy with the flaps and the spit.
Dilophosaurus. That's it. I remember them saying it. The Dilophosaurus. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. I remember.
Okay, that's my answer then. I'm going to be a Dilophosaurus.
Cool.
Analyze that one.
You eat Newman. And
you spit acid. You're toxic.
I do spit super hot fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why.
Next
you
up.
spit super hot fire.
Moving on from the super hot fire to another super hot bowl of soup.
Okay.
Gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm putting a bowl of soup in front of you.
Okay.
Mhm.
What soup do you choose?
It's a delicious cream of potato and bacon soup.
Ooh, that sounds lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Some cheddar cheese on top. Jay, what do you pick?
I'm gonna pick that chicken and gnocchi soup from Olive Garden.
Oh, that's a great choice too. I'll pick chicken noodle, just classic soup.
Okay.
I love a chicken soup.
So what does this say about us?
No, that's not the question here.
Okay.
Do you eat or drink soup?
You eat soup.
You eat soup.
I think you eat it too, but when it gets down to just the broth, At that point, you just drink it, right?
You drink the broth, but like up till that point, you're eating the soup. There's pieces.
I mean,
in the soup.
you don't drink beverages with a spoon.
Yeah. Also
That's
that
true.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, when
What
I'm
if I
down
put
to
down
the
just like a bowl of like tomato soup, just no chunks or anything in it, perfect puree or
I'll use
butternut
soup.
squash.
Or I'll use a spoon, I mean.
yeah, it's still soup. I think.
I'll use soup.
I'll use soup. I'll throw that out and get some
Oh,
real
that's-
soup.
Yeah.
I'll add some soup to
Honestly,
my soup.
though, tomato soup kind of mid, but
Tomato soup's only good with like a grilled cheese sandwich.
grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
good.
Even me, the grilled cheese sandwich hater, can admit that.
I
much.
remember like when I was a kid going to a diner, they'd give you like those saltine crackers to go with the soup. And I'd be like, why do you need saltine crackers? And my family would tell me, well, like crumple it up and put it in the soup.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And I think plain tomato soup is like the only acceptable time that you should ever do that, because plain tomato soup is
that
boring unless you have it.
Is that true, Cole? Do you agree with any of Jay's statements?
That is the hottest steak. That is the hottest take Jay has ever spoken. Man, cream of mushroom
Not a fan.
soup with crackers in it. Oh man, cream of mushroom soup with a whole sleeve of crackers in it. Now
No,
we're talking.
no.
Now we're
No,
talking.
that's disgusting.
Oh,
No,
it's so
also,
good.
you
You
don't
just-
put crackers in cream of mushroom soup.
Oh yes, you do.
No,
Oh yes, you
Oh,
do.
God.
no.
It turns into slop, but you got to eat it while the
Just- yeah,
before
you're
the
eating
crackers
slop.
turn into
Yeah.
too much. You still need some bite in the crackers.
Do you want some starch in? Do you want some cornstarch in there with your cream of mushroom soup? And
It just turns into gruel. You're eating gruel, Cole.
Yeah, but it tastes good.
what are you, like a peasant in the Renaissance era?
Yeah.
Basically, in this economy, yeah, basically. Yeah, that's
I think the saltine crackers, I'll put like 2 or 3 in there. You've been adamant on the whole sleeve of saltines where it just soaks up all the broth and turns to mush.
Yeah, no,
Two
you
or
put
three.
like maybe 2.
A couple.
that.
Yeah,
What's the point then?
It's all
It's just a
crumpled up,
nice
so
little,
it just
it's a
sprinkles
nice little
over.
salty texture. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Thickens
man.
it's
it
like
up a little bit.
putting croutons on your salad. You don't dump the whole thing.
Yeah, but it's the best part in a salad. Croutons are
No,
delicious.
croutons are one of the worst parts of
No,
the salad.
croutons like an extra little thing. It's not the part that
Yeah.
you look forward to.
They cut the top of my mouth and they're just dried, stale bread. Get
Yeah,
outta here.
but they've got like seasoning on them.
Oh, they're good. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's not the part of the salad that you eat. It's
Okay, so what is the part of the salad that you eat then?
The lettuce,
All of
I'm
it.
assuming.
the lettuce?
See, I'm not a big salad guy. To me, why am I grazing on leaves? Get out of here.
You're a Dilophosaurus. They're
Yeah.
carnivores, yeah.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
what about this? What about this? So you've got 2 salads in front of you, and I've had this at
Mhm.
like Christmas parties, and I hate it. One salad is like a Caesar salad, you know.
Okay.
Classic.
The
Probably my favorite salad.
The other one is like a salad with like cranberries and oranges and like
Like a tossed salad.
like a raspberry vinaigrette on it. Which one are you going for?
So basically, you're asking like, am I going for like a more traditional like Caesar salad with like a creamy dressing,
Or like,
Mhm.
like
an
a savory
exotic-
salad, or am I going for like a sweet salad? Is basically what you're asking.
Exactly.
And the answer is
Sweeter, savory.
Yeah, savory.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we could all
That
agree
said,
on this one.
I do appreciate like sometimes you'll get like the nice little mandarin orange salad or something like that.
I don't like them.
Every now and then it hits. It really does.
No.
Or I'll make like a broccoli salad and I'll throw cranberries in there, like dried cranberries. That's real good too.
I don't like sweet stuff with my dinner.
Cranberries really aren't that sweet though.
They're sweet enough.
They're quite tart.
Tort. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bit too
Yeah.
sweet,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay,
I
next
think-
question. Next question.
Oh, next question. Okay.
Yeah.
AniPro is throwing a party.
Mhm.
Okay. It's to celebrate episode 120.
Okay.
Congratulations, guys.
Well,
Wow.
we did.
I've
did
ordered pizza.
Mm-hmm.
The exact
Mhm.
same pizza. I've ordered 2 different pizzas, but they have the exact same toppings and they're prepared at the exact same time in the oven.
Okay.
They are just cheese pizzas. I'm boring today and cheap. It's expensive.
Okay.
We just got a new microphone here.
Yeah.
One pizza, you open the box, you see it's sliced into triangles. The
Mhm.
other pizza, you open the box, you see it's sliced into squares. Which pizza are you consuming?
Every other
I like-
factor is the same, yeah.
Yep, they're identical pizzas. I cut one into squares. I cut one into triangles.
Okay. Jay, why don't you go? Sounds like
I kind of don't care. Whatever
Okay.
pizza's like left over, I'll just eat. You know, like
I mean, that's
Really?
yeah.
that's probably the
I think
right
I have
answer.
a definite answer here.
Uh,
I mean, I'll eat both of them. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Pizza in any form is good.
Like I like the thing is if you cut them into the little squares, like you get more on the plate because like
Mhm.
you're tricking your mind to think like, oh, there's less there, so you can put more pieces and end up
Mhm.
eating more without feeling like
Okay.
a dummy fat person. That was mean. Or
I feel like that was
you
a shot
can-
at me, Jay. That was
was
uncalled for.
That was
Hey.
a shot at me.
That's a shot at me. Let's be fair here. Or you eat like the triangle slices and they look very symmetrical and nice looking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not have to give your OCD brain a shot of wacko sauce. I don't know.
So, yeah. Okay.
So like my point here is like there are pros and cons to both, but like at the end of the day, it's pizza, right?
But I think you put yourself in the situation where you're standing there. Which one are you grabbing?
Yeah. Like you have to. You're eating. You have to.
Or are
eat.
you just
You're
going to stand
starving.
there and go, doesn't matter to me? But you have to come. You
Take
got
one.
it.
Are you
You
gonna
got to
take one of
grab one.
each, like
Yeah,
an anarchist?
Honestly, it'll probably be whichever one's closest to me. If we're standing like in a line, like we're doing a
Okay.
lineup, whichever
Whatever
box
comes
is
first.
closer to
It's
me
just
is
it's
the
the
one
three
I'll
of us. I slap them on Cole's. We're in Cole's living room. I
Mhm.
slap it on
Mhm.
the table in front of us.
Yeah,
You're sitting
whichever one's
perfectly
closer
between
to
the two
me.
boxes.
Everyone's closer to me.
Okay.
You're sitting perfectly between the two boxes.
Take from both.
Okay. One from each.
Anarchist, wild man. Okay.
All right. And then we're going to look at you like, what the hell are you doing?
Unless
What the hell is this guy doing?
I would take from a specific one if someone had taken from one already and I didn't want to like start a new one.
Okay.
Then
Sure.
I'd be like, okay, I'll take.
So you're truly agnostic in this choice, then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, you said that you have one. Like
I have. I don't know which. I'm kind of on the fence about them too. But
Okay.
it kind of depends on the context here.
Mhm.
If I'm
Mhm.
just eating the pizza by myself,
Mhm.
I think I prefer square cut and there's a follow up here is that I think that I like the middle pieces of a square cut.
Okay.
Those are good pieces to me.
Mm.
But if I'm in like, and this is usually where you see the square cut because people get more slices out of it. But if you're in like a social setting where you're all sharing the pizza,
Mhm.
don't get the square cut because inevitably the pizza is going to be left, and I'm going to end up. They're going to be like, "Oh, you can take two pieces." Do the little bitty corner pieces count as a piece or not?
No, those don't count as pieces.
But
those are
I feel
sample
bad
pieces.
taking them. I feel bad taking them because it's like that. Well, technically, I'm taking three pizzas, when I'm only
Mhm.
allowed two, even
Mhm.
though it's a little corner piece.
Listen,
it just makes the triangle cuts more fair. For sharing.
If I'm going to a place and they're like, you can only have two pieces, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
You've
I
never
think-
been
I
to
think
like a
if
work
they-
party like that?
No.
Oh,
no.
I have, and I hate it. I never follow the
It's
rules.
terrible. Yeah,
I'll always
no.
like take like a third or a fourth.
Yeah.
It inevitably everyone takes their two, and then there's like still 70 pizzas left.
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
They're like, oh, everyone go grab a whole pizza and take it home.
Exactly. I'm going with square cuts, easy for
Okay.
me.
Mhm.
I actually like the corner. I like the crust pieces.
I do like the corner pieces too, actually, but
I like
prefer
the
middle.
crust. And then once like I don't know, there's just more diversity as you're moving through the pizza because I'm gonna eat the whole thing. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. So you start off on the like a corner piece where it's just a little, then you get one of
Yeah.
the crust pieces, and then you do that whole row, and then
That is
like-
good, actually. You're bringing
Yeah.
up good points here, Cole. That is a good time.
and the second point is it's just fancier for some reason. It just feels
It
fancier.
does
to
feel
me.
fancier.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. I just like the square cuts more.
Which one are you going for first, though?
Square
The outer rim or the center?
outer rim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the outer rim more, so I'm gonna go for it before other people take it. But I realize like a lot of people don't like crust. A lot of people don't even eat the crust of their pizza, which is insane to me.
Depends on the crust, but
Mhm.
I appreciate a crust.
There's
I
a
like the
trick to
crust.
it though. Save like
Tell us your
little,
trick.
save like a little bit of the part that has sauce on it. So when you eat the crust, there's still like a little bit of sauce at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're
Don't
still
eat right up to the. Yeah. Agreed. Mike, I think we would probably do 2 more. I think. Then we can
Okay.
move on to-
Follow-up question to this one.
Okay. Sure.
Instead of pizza, I actually ordered sandwiches from the local delicatessen.
Okay.
Squares or triangles?
Two plates, 1 squares, 1 triangles. Or I guess rectangles and triangles, depending on the bread.
Rectangle. Yeah, rectangle. Because I feel
I think
like
I'm a rectangle guy too.
a rectangle, like I'm assuming it's cut right down the middle, like parallel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So they're all. It's truly the most even way of dispersing of these sandwiches. If you cut into triangle, like corner to corner, half of them are going to be like the bottom half of the bread, and half of them are going to be the top part of the bread, right?
Yep.
Whereas if you cut right down the middle, parallel, like a mirror, you get half bottom bread, half top bread. I just feel like that's more. Yeah, I'd go with that.
I feel like when you go I feel like I'd go rectangle too, and I agree with you. I think when you do the triangle, yes, it looks fancier, but the issue is that like it kind of like the toppings, there's not enough bread to hold the toppings together, so things end up the triangle sandwich is messier unless it's like a peanut butter and jelly or something.
Yeah, there's not enough bread integrity on the edges.
It doesn't have the crust to hold it together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind the triangles, but I think I'd choose the squares on the sole fact that like it when you're eating a sandwich from triangles, you're eating like in a cone formation, which like kind of feels a bit more awkward than if you're eating it like because like it.
I know what you mean.
Starts like
I know what you mean,
and then like it goes
tapers
into,
down.
so it's like a cone.
Yeah.
Whereas if you eat the square, it's all symmetrical and you're just eating.
Yeah. The triangle feels fancy, but it's truly inferior. I think we all agree.
I think we'd accept that. It looks nicer. Like if you're taking a picture for Instagram or something, looks nicer.
Look at my egg salad sandwich. Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post
You're
that.
gonna do that?
I'm gonna post
it on
that.
at AniPro Cole.
Yeah.
Wait till the episode comes out so they have context.
No, I'm not going to.
No.
I'm going to do it, and then I'll say, find out.
It'll be an Easter egg from the future.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm only allowed 2 more. Cole said.
Yep.
Okay, this one's another one where you're going to look into your hearts, guys.
Okay, I'm ready.
Picture a nice grove of fruit trees. Okay. There's a lovely grove. It's like Animal Crossing. There's every type of fruit in the world in this grove.
I was having a real good day till you mentioned this. Now I'm mad.
It's a lovely little grove of fruit.
Okay.
And Cole is so mad. You were mad before you even recorded. What are you talking about? Now you reach up to pick one of these delicious fruits.
Okay.
What fruit do you pick?
I picture an orange immediately. That's the
An
one.
orange. Okay.
Yeah.
My immediate pick was strawberries, which isn't really growing on trees, but
Famously grown on a tree.
For the metaphor, that works. I'm glad you didn't go with tomato or something weird.
Fields of strawberry trees.
It's a grove of fruit. There's everything you could possibly want. I pictured an apple.
The only reason I bring that up is because you mentioned trees. Because when you said picture of fruit, I immediately thought strawberry. Then you're like, yeah, it's growing on the tree, and I was like, oh, I got to think of something else now.
It's a really big strawberry
tree
bush.
or bush or plant or whatever.
It's a gigantic
kind of
strawberry
that
bush.
It grew.
Yeah, it's growing. You pick a fruit off the vine or whatever. And why did you pick that fruit? Because that's what fruit you are as a person.
I just like an orange.
Well, why are you an orange?
Yeah. It's refreshing. It's a refreshing fruit. Pineapple's probably my favorite fruit, but I'm not picking a pineapple. I'm gonna hurt myself. Pineapples are crazy.
Yeah, they're kind of really. Pineapple's your favorite fruit? Pineapple's good.
I love pineapple, but oranges are good. I don't know. It's just refreshing. I'm picturing like a hot summer day. I want something juicy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fruit is best on like a nice summer day. Eat an orange in a shower at one time, Cole. That's an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get messy with it.
Okay. I will.
Peel everywhere. Yeah.
Okay.
Jay, why are you a strawberry?
Strawberry.
Also, Cole, by the way, Tough exterior, soft interior. Checks out your tsundere.
I just like strawberries. Like, they're sweet, they're tasty, they can be used in multiple different ways. Like, I feel like if there were a platter of any fruit imaginable, strawberry is the one I'd go for.
Okay.
I feel like strawberry is like a universally beloved fruit. That's good.
Yeah. I like have I told you guys my hot take on strawberries?
They're terrible.
No, I don't think so.
No, I like strawberries. They're just overrated.
It's kind of like I agree with you in general that like fruit, if it's from like the grocery store and out of season, it's like it's kind of not worth it. Like I won't really go for it. But like if you pick like a strawberry fresh out of like your grandma's garden, that's like divine, you know? Like
like a good strawberry is really good, but often I find them like very
kind of bland,
unsweet. Yeah. Whereas like a
little sour.
A pineapple is like always, they're very consistent. It's a very consistent fruit.
Well, it ripens on the counter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
does it?
I think at the same time, and I think we can all agree on this, vegetables are vastly superior to fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. AniPro certified. Yep.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? You said apple?
Apple. And I think that's just because of the metaphor I chose. But also I've been eating a lot of apples lately. And the best apple is like a Honeycrisp apple, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite apple.
No? Well, you don't like fruit either, so.
Yeah, I don't like fruit. Yeah.
I like an apple to be... Oh, go ahead, Jay. What's your favorite apple?
I probably basic bitch, but I'm gonna go with Granny Smith, maybe Red Delicious.
Oh, goodness. Those are two terrible apples.
Red Delicious has like a very thick skin.
I know.
They're grainy too.
I guess if you peel
they're the ones I grew up on, so.
Okay.
I like a Fiji apple or Fuji apple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or Fuji, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Granny Smith is just too tart to me. It like feels like it's like running electricity through my fillings when I eat them.
So, people really like that though. People really like the tart apple. So
yeah,
I get that.
Yeah. Like Shazana loves it. Loves the Granny Smith. That's her favorite too.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you guys can unite in that.
Your
last
hatred
one
of
here.
Michael. His
and
apple
their
choice.
hatred. Yes. I found a cool website recently where it was like some guy, his like life mission is to rate every apple. So there's a website that you can go to where there's like an in-depth review of every apple you can possibly imagine.
All right.
It's great. Check it out.
We're going to do an apple tier list. That's what we're going to do.
That's our bonus episode for this month.
Yeah. That's I think Cole said we're doing a tier list this episode for the bonus episode. Yeah. So there you go. That'll Apple tier list coming right up.
Yes.
If you want to check out that website, it's called applerankings.com. If you're listening to this and you want to find out the definitive rankings.
That URL wasn't taken?
No, apparently not. Yeah.
I'm surprised he got that.
It's not a lot of money and he's using it to rank apples.
Yeah. Wow.
Last question here. Okay. Would you rather be 12 feet tall or 12 inches tall?
Inches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be a foot tall. I don't know. I just feel like it'd be more convenient. If you're 12 feet tall, like, how do you fit in anything?
That's where I'd go to. I think I'd go 12 inches just purely because, like, 12 feet would be horrible. Like, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You'd hit your head on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wouldn't be very fun.
You have to like crawl through doorways, basically.
Yeah. Imagine going to Japan as a 12-foot tall person.
Yeah. I was halfway there.
Yeah.
Jay?
I'm torn on this one because, like, you're right that, like, it would be much more convenient, but at the same time, how cool would it be? Just, like, being 12 feet tall.
The attention you'd get a ton of attention.
You get a ton of attention. You'd like just be you just get to like act out that childhood fantasy of like stomping through the city as like a giant kaiju.
But you could, if you're small, you could act out like childhood fantasy of just being like a little rat scurrying around in the walls.
I already do that, but sure.
Yeah.
Don't look in your walls in the middle of the night, Michael.
Is that the sound I hear at night?
That's the sound
Is
you
Cole
hear.
scurrying through my walls.
That's why that like big painting that you have on the wall of like your great grandmother, its eyes move all the time. That's actually my eyes behind. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I thought it was like a Harry Potter painting. I didn't know it was your eye.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like Scooby-Doo eyes.
Of the three of us, I'm the short king here.
It's true.
You are the height rankings. Yeah, you are the lowest in the height rankings, but you are the most kingly for sure.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm not short, but like
no, it's just you're cursed by having two giant
all the height went into the feet as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Jay's
look,
king of
don't
the
check
feet
our YouTube
ranking.
subscription count, but when we hit 277 subscribers, I'll post a picture. Don't check our subscription count.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't go check that.
Don't go check that.
Don't fact check Jay. But you should, I think, open the mailbag, Cole.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should do that. And that's what I will do when I do that. And I will do that.
We're waiting.
Right now. Whoops.
It's time for the mailbag.
It's mailbag time. Another flawless transition for AniPro. If you've got a mailbag question,
I kind of put you on the spot there.
No, it's okay. I should have been more hostly. If you've got a mailbag question, you can send that over to us on our website, AniProPod.com/mailbag, or on our Discord. That's where this one comes from. It's also a patron priority mailbag. Wee woo. It's from Super Mexi. I saw this one and I thought this would be kind of contentious because I think we'll all come at this from. I think we'll all have different answers, but what is the best gaming console excluding PC? So Jay, I want you to answer first.
Okay.
Yeah, as the king of games on the pod, for sure.
As the Yu-Gi-Oh on the pod. I'm going to say GameCube. And I think that, a lot of you are going to say, oh, it didn't sell that well. Look. So many good games. You got Mario Sunshine, you got Melee, you got Mario Kart Double Dash, you got Wind Waker, you got
the game I just beat, Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD.
And XD, two of my favorite games of all time.
One of the best controllers of all time.
Honestly, yeah. An elite controller.
One of the best controllers. So good, in fact, that they've been reusing it for the past 15 years.
Yeah, people still use it in like Smash tournaments.
Yeah, isn't Melee like the best Smash? Like that's why they use it.
A lot of people say it is, and that it still holds up. I think Ultimate's the best one, but
okay. I know that it's very popular still. People will like go out and hunt CRT TVs to place Melee on. So
you've also got like Metroid Prime 1 and 2. You've got Star Fox Assault, which is severely underrated.
Twilight Princess came out on the game.
Twilight
Princess. People forget about.
Yeah, Pikmin.
Yeah. Pikmin started on.
Yeah, you know what? GameCube had some bangers, man.
Yeah, I like that pick. It's
pick,
definitely an underrated console, severely.
Yeah. Can I offer you a one-up, Jay? The Nintendo Wii, because it both plays GameCube games and Wii games, and it has Wii Sports.
Listen, I'm gonna be potentially crucified. The Wii was overrated.
I think so too.
I hated the Wii Chucks or whatever they were called.
The nunchuck?
Yeah, the nunchuck and the Wiimote.
The Wiimote, Cole. Pronounce it properly.
Calibrating that to the sensor bar was the worst thing in the world.
Except
I don't care what anyone will say.
Wii Sports was a lot of fun. I love Wii
Sports.
Was
great.
Yeah. But otherwise, I didn't like the games.
It's not my favorite console of all time, though.
I didn't like the games they developed for the Wii. They were too reliant on motion control that wasn't quite there.
I remember like
definitely the weak part.
People hated Skyward Sword because of how much it relied on the motion controls.
Man, I got the remaster and I have it and I tried playing it. Man, I hate motion control. Even on the Switch, it's
I think at the same time, like they were still kind of figuring out what they were doing with motion controls. Like now they kind of have a better idea with it.
I get it. It was a necessary step. It's just it wasn't there, and I have to hold it against it. Unfortunately,
no, I agree.
No, yeah, you do. Yeah. We wouldn't be my answer for best console of all time. By the way, I was just basically bringing up that it does play GameCube games, and it's also a Wii. But
yeah. The Wii was good when you'd use the like traditional Wii controller. But Mike, why don't you answer the question? Sorry.
Oh, okay. I feel like probably my answer is going to be the Xbox 360. I think is probably one of the best consoles of all time. I think that generation really is where gaming was kind of in its prime for me, at least. But I think it really kind of was the great era of gaming, other than like the 8-bit era or the 16-bit era. But it had so many classic games. You got all the Halos, you had all the Call of Duties come out during that. It kind of cemented what gaming is nowadays. It was, but it was back when you could still like, you go to the store, you buy Call of Duty, you have a full game, doesn't need updates constantly. You don't need like, it was just, there's so many great games on 360 that I think that was really the peak of gaming.
Yeah.
I could go GameCube too, though.
The downside with the 360 was, I mean, elephant in the room, the red ring.
Yeah. And it like, I think it eventually happened to every 360 is kind of the problem too.
Yeah.
I mean, it got me off Xbox.
Yeah.
I remember getting the 360 and then it red ringed and then I sold it to my cousins.
With the red ring?
With the red ring.
I remember
I actually bought
story.
a red ringed Xbox and I fixed it.
I remember at the time PS3 had free online, whereas you had to pay for
that was another thing too.
I remember when PlayStation went to having to pay for online, and I was telling people like, that's bullshit. People were like, what do you mean? What? Of course you got to pay for it. And those were all the Xbox kids who would say that. And I'm like, no, it was always free. And then all of a sudden they just decided that
because they found out
Xbox
could make money from it. So
no, I know. Yeah. You got to make money. You got to make money.
Nintendo did the same thing, and their online sucks.
Oh yeah,
they're Nintendo, it's the worst online too.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
I could go Switch too, or I could do the cop out answer of Steam Deck, which is just a gaming PC.
I thought you were going to say Steam Deck, to be honest, or Switch.
The portable gaming PC is the move now, for sure. Cole, what's yours?
I mean, PS5.
You say PS5? Really? Yeah. How can you say that?
What do you mean? How can I say that? It's got it's got the most sophisticated piece of equipment in terms of gaming with the controller.
And it's spherical. No,
what? I don't get it.
I'll show it to you off air.
Okay. The controller is the pinnacle of game controllers. It's incredible.
I agree with that.
I mean, it's the most powerful gaming console ever. And yeah, why wouldn't I pick it?
So in my opinion, the PS5 I would almost consider kind of a flop, actually, because not only was it like basically unavailable for like the first 2 years of its release, it basically didn't. I had a PS5 for like 3 years before I even felt like I needed the whole time I had it, I was kind of like, why did I buy this? I don't have a single PS5 game that I feel is actually worth a PS5 experience.
Well, I mean, that's on Sony. I still think it's the best console. I think it still runs games better than the PS4 did. It runs games better than any other console does.
So you're just going purely based on like stats, like specs.
Yes.
Okay, then objectively, I think the Xbox is a more powerful console.
Yeah, I think the Series X is more powerful, but like
I know that there was issues with the release of it, but I mean, like, when you get a PS5 game and you're playing a PS5 game on the PS5, there's nothing like it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because you're just playing like the current most modern thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more eras here. And I just can't think of that definitive PS5 game other than even Spider-Man. That's a PS4 game, you know?
Spider-Man 2.
But a lot of people call Spider-Man 2 like Spider-Man 1.5.
Okay. Astro's Playroom is like actually a legitimately great game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just came out. Great game.
Yeah.
The use of the like resistance on the triggers is Like you're not getting that on anything else, period.
I'll agree with you. The controller is probably it's the best controller of all time. I'll agree with that.
Mhm.
And I don't mean to like belittle your take.
Controller.
I just don't agree with it.
I think the GameCube controller is better, honestly.
The GameCube controller was ahead of its
Shock
time
5 over it.
Yeah. And like it's ergonomically really good. But I mean, the technology that's in the PS5 controller is...
Yeah, but
I mean,
how
it
much
blows
are
it
they
out of the
really
water.
using it? How much are they really using like every single spec in that controller?
Quite often. Like you play car racing games, you get quite a bit of resistance on the triggers.
I like the resistive the triggers too. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, like that's up to game developers whether or not they use it, but like when it's being used, it's definitely more immersive than anything else.
Honorable mention, Switch, I feel like was a revolutionary console that has like, other than being like kind of underpowered nowadays, it's been like, well,
it was underpowered when it came out.
Yeah.
It came out in like what, 2016?
2017. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a 7-year-old console at this point. Like,
and it has like,
and it was portable.
Yeah. It was basically a portable PS3.
Yeah. But like, I feel like I have played so many games on Switch, and by making them portable, it's so great. And the form factor, and then you can you can either play single player or you can just throw someone a Joy-Con and then have at her, right? And also it has the game that Discord voted the best game of all time, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
It was Deluxe. Yeah. Which is basically Mario Kart 9.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
At this point, it's basically Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
I think that the Switch is definitely really cool. It just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I can definitively say it's the best console of all time.
No, and I don't think any of us...
nobody went PS2, which I feel like is the common answer for best console of all time. But
I probably would have went N64 over PS2. That was probably my...
Oh, but the controller's a nightmare.
Not really.
I probably, if we're going like super, super retro, I would have said SNES.
Yeah, or Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I feel like SNES was like the peak.
Oh, no. I mean,
gaming.
like, I agree with you. Yeah. It
just like the amount of good games on that console.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Switch is funny. Like it's gimmicky, but like not to its detriment, which sometimes like the Switch was, or not the Switch, the Wii was. It was gimmicky to its detriment, in my opinion. Whereas the Switch's gimmick like works, and I feel like usable.
I feel like the Switch is like the natural evolution of what Nintendo was trying to do, because like the Wii U gamepad is basically like the Switch. You can play it on your on the gamepad and then put it on the TV as well.
Yeah, it's kind of the culmination of everything they've done. Yeah. They're known for like two things, like innovating and portable consoles, right?
I mean,
and they just fused them, right?
They're basically the only gaming company that was able to get handheld gaming off the ground. Like the Vita flopped. If we're looking at recent
PSP flopped before the Vita even too.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Or the Game Gear.
It's funny with like the Vita, everybody says the same thing. It was great, but it flopped. It's like, well, if it was so great, why didn't everybody get it? I never understood that. Like, what was?
I just think it never had games, because like a big part of this is like it needs to have the games, you know.
Yeah.
And just I don't think it ever. I can't think of one Vita game that people say is
Persona
like
3, Persona 4 Golden was like the one.
Hi-Fi Rush or whatever that one's called. That game's sweet, really good game. Go play that game. It's on the PlayStation. Cool.
Another thing too is like
cool game.
PlayStation, I feel like people like Sony boys are really into like graphics and stuff like that, and like cutting edge technology, which just does not translate to a portable console. Portable console is about convenience, fun, and like accessibility, and that's what Nintendo is, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no. I mean, like Nintendo's king of portable play. They always have been. I mean,
always have been, always will be. Game Boy, man. That was
Game Boy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's literally if your parent were to say like, hey, are you going to bring your console? They're not going to say like, hey, are you going to bring your PlayStation? They're going to say, hey,
they call my Switch a Game Boy. Yeah.
You're going to bring your Game Boy. Yeah.
Oh, my dad still calls everything a Nintendo or an Atari.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he's old.
Yeah. Well, that's just being an old man.
Yeah, that's just
actually the best console of all time is the Magnavox 1700 or whatever the hell it was called.
The best console of all time was the Intellivision whatever.
Was the Pac-Man gaming cabinet.
Hey man.
Ooh, those
the
are
Donkey
good.
Kong.
You're like a gaming cabinet.
An original donkey pinball. Pinball's my answer. Anyway, I'll leave it there.
That's
We've
PC
got
gaming cheater.
Yeah, we've got reviews coming up. I'll do that before we go to the break. We've got manga review coming up, Ruridragon. That's next week. And then we've got some anime reviews coming up as well. Girls Last Tour. And then the month after that'll be Golden Boy. And the month after that'll be Yuru Camp. So that's our 3 reviews coming up in the future. But what do you guys think about going to a possible break? Do you guys like that idea?
I think we've earned a break at this point for sure.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think we've spoken a lot, which is appropriate considering this is a spoken word. Break. Welcome back to the Anime Protagonist Podcast.
Listeners, if you understand anything about
that.
this throw up thing and why it's funny, can you please explain it to me? Because I have no clue.
No, you're gonna make our poor listeners sick, Cole. We can't do this to them.
We can't do this.
We can do it to Jay off air.
Someone's gonna like actually throw up because of you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like how people don't like to listen to people eat, the misophonia or whatever, right?
Yeah. I get that. I get that. You're right.
Some people don't like it going in, some people don't like it going out.
You're right. I should dial it back. So we're recording Princess Mononoke. Thank you for joining us.
We're recording
Yes.
Princess Mononoke. That's
surprise. I sent you guys actually the script, so I'd like you to read it. Mike, I'd like you to play the part of the wolf mother, who's famously played by
Scully.
Princess Mononoke.
Gillian Anderson.
Gillian Anderson. That was it. I was going to say Karen Gillian, but I think she's was on Doctor Who.
Who's does that?
She was, whatever. Jay, you're going to play the part of one of the village elders from the beginning of the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought he was gonna be one of the apes, one of the ape tribe.
And I'm going to play the ape people. I'm going to play the ape men. So we're going to... Yeah?
Who's playing our 2 leads, Ashitaka and San?
No one.
Oh, okay.
No one is. No.
Okay.
The listeners are.
It'll be silence until until our lines come up.
We're gonna read the script in our heads and jump in when we feel like our line is supposed to be read.
That's right.
Cole, you have like 3 lines. It's let us eat human and eat human or whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Well, hey, I'm the casting director. Of course, I give myself the easy job. I'm the casting director in this fake scenario that I'm making up. So we asked you, we pleaded with you, the listener, to go watch Princess Mononoke if you haven't watched it before, which is super unlikely, right, Jay? Everybody's seen this movie.
Who wouldn't watch Princess Mononoke? That's just weird.
It is weird.
And just like Ghibli films in general. I feel like everyone's at least seen like at least 1 or 2 Ghibli films in their life.
At least 2 Ghibli films.
Yeah. Everyone.
So the elephant in the room. This is Jay's first Ghibli film.
Second.
And we wanted some second. Oh, right. That's right.
We watched
you did
Boy
watch
and the Heron. The
other
Academy
movie we
Award-winning
reviewed.
Boy and the Heron.
Yes. That's congratulations on the Academy Award.
Yeah, congratulations.
Should we do like a quick summary just in case someone is listening to this and happen to have not seen it?
Of course. I've got the plot here.
Yeah.
Well, I've got the synopsis
good.
anyway from Annie List. So I'm going to read it right now.
Yeah.
Are you
And
guys ready?
Are we doing a spoiler section for this one or not?
I don't think that.
I don't think we need it.
Listen,
I don't know,
this movie came out in 1997. I don't think we need to be too concerned about spoilers.
I don't
Also,
even know
I
if
feel
there's
like-
anything that's spoilerific either.
I feel like most anime fans have probably seen this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we can just run hog wild.
Let her rip.
Let her rip.
Yeah, this one I think we can. Yeah, let's. So if you haven't seen it and you're really concerned about spoilers,
go watch
it.
Go watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, Princess Mononoke. The synopsis is written by Mal Rewrite. Whoever that is.
I don't like that. I don't like that already.
I don't like where this is going, but I'm going to read it anyway. A calm village residing in the mountains comes under attack by a demon-possessed boar one day. I remember that scene. Ashitaka, a young man and prince of the tribe, engages the creature in an attempt to save his village. During the battle, the boar bites him on the arm. Bye.
We've lost Jay.
We've lost him. I'm going to keep reading. Leaving it blackened and cursed. Following the village traditions, Ashitaka is exiled and becomes a wanderer looking for a solution to the curse before it engulfs him. Next paragraph. Irontown is a fortress under the leadership of Lady Eboshi? It was Eboshi, right?
Eboshi, I think,
Eboshi. Yeah. Through the clearing of the surrounding forests, Irontown produces large amounts of iron sand used for gunpowder and other machinery. However, because of the forest's destruction, nearby animal clans seek revenge, led by a human girl of the wolf clan called Son. When Ashitaka comes to Irontown, he discovers the area consumed in battle. Horrified, he attempts to create peace and befriend the wolf clan. However, after the forest's eradication and the ongoing war between the human and beasts, will the spirit of the forest be forgiving and accept Ashitaka's request to expel his curse? That's a very, very good synopsis, I think.
It really, that kind of really says it all there. Jay just texted me that his internet went down.
So that's the synopsis for Princess Mononoke, as written by everyone's favorite writer, Mal Rewrite.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy. You really damn that crazy. That's crazy. I don't even put those words in my mouth. I do not like the Mal Rewrite bot or whatever it is.
Well, hey, I didn't put it in your mouth. You did.
This is a surprisingly good Mal Rewrite bot job on this one.
Is this like AI? Is this a thing? I didn't know that this was.
I assume so. I just assumed it was like auto translate, honestly.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it was fine. So let's dive in, I guess. There's always four main things when we're discussing a show, right? We've got plot, we've got characters, we've got animation, we've got the sound, especially when we're doing a movie. But I think the most pressing question, the most important question I could possibly ask to you two, my co-hosts, sub or dub, Michael.
So the first time I watched this movie, I watched it in dub. So I decided to watch it in sub this time around, just because so I know both, basically.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I've mostly watched it in dub. Yeah, so I'll say dub, to be honest. Mostly because of Gillian Anderson.
It's one of those two.
Yeah.
Scully from X-Files. Yeah.
What I will say though, with regards to the dub, I like that who plays the little dude? The old dude with the warts.
Ashitaka?
No.
Oh, the
hunter?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Jiko, the guy who says he's a priest and he's actually after hunting.
It's Billy Bob Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah. I kind of feel like he's mailing it in a little bit, which is unfortunate.
Which is kind of funny because I was watching like behind the scenes stuff with it. And apparently he was definitely mailing it in a lot.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah,
apparently did not take his job seriously at all.
So I'm going to ask you, but we already know the answer.
Yeah, I have no idea anything about the dub because I watched it in the original sub Japanese. Now here's the question I have for the two of you. Where did you guys watch Princess Mononoke? Because it's kind of available in multiple different spaces.
My living room. I watched it on my Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yes.
I have it on Blu-ray.
Okay.
It is on Netflix.
I like Ghibli's on Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is on Netflix up here.
It's on Netflix, and I think
it's on
also,
HBO Max.
Yeah, I thought it was also on
Down south.
Crunchyroll.
Is it? I don't know.
It might be.
And I think in the States it's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Or is it on Netflix in the States too? I don't know.
I know it's on Netflix here, at least.
It's widely available, is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Netflix has it. They've got all of the Ghibli films, other than, of course.
Yeah. Up here, at least. I don't know about down south, but.
Yeah. And Boy the Heron.
I'm looking on Crunchyroll to see.
It's coming to HBO Max.
HBO.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's news. It's also coming back to theaters. I don't know if I want to go see it.
You're going to. I know you.
I might.
Yeah, you've
already seen it twice.
It's gonna happen.
Let's talk plot though. Let's talk plot. And I do just want to say the big thing, and I mentioned this just before we started recording, is very influential.
For sure.
It's a very influential film, especially if you've played the Breath of the Wild and its sequel. It took a lot from it, specifically, like, for example, the rotten arm mechanic that comes straight from this, obviously.
Even kind of looks similar.
Yeah.
Literally, the first thought I had when I started watching this movie was like, this is probably the closest we'll ever get to an anime Zelda movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Honestly, though, because he kind of is like, he's even got like the what do you call the little guys who you Koroks?
Yeah.
The Koroks are just like the
forest spirits.
Kodama. Yeah. The Kodama.
The Kodama, yeah, that's what
I honestly think that's why they went with Link going from green to like a blue color palette, is because Ashikata
matches
blue.
Ashitaka. Yeah.
Ashikata,
I think it's pretty on its
Ashitaka.
sleeve. I don't think it's pretty shameless, actually. I'd say, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm definitely not going to take this away from Breath of the Wild. You guys know my love for those Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
So if you're going to rip something off, there's definitely worse things to rip off.
100%.
Oh yeah. And at this point, I think it's kind of like, it's so influential and it's so big and it's kind of older now that I wouldn't even say being inspired by it is ripping off at this point, because it's such a massive cultural icon that how can you not be inspired by it? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're making a fantasy game about, like, when you're making a Zelda game, I'd say like it's pretty ubiquitous, the Princess Mononoke influence.
I think like Ghibli in general just kind of like modernized, or not really modernized, but like pioneered the like modern visualization on that like fantasy-esque style. Aside from Toriyama, of course, but like,
yeah,
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, Ghibli's got this great like dream-like thing.
That's what I'd say. Yeah, it's dream-like.
Which I usually doesn't hit for me. Which is probably why I like Princess Mononoke more than most Ghibli films, because it's the least dreamlike. It's the most it's the most straightforward,
conventional
story.
I would say.
Most conventional story.
Yeah.
It's basically just your classic hero's journey, right? There's a call to action. You've got your like, it's your standard hero's journey story.
It's your standard, and man versus nature type story too.
Yeah, but nature's fighting back this time, baby.
Yeah,
it's also like a story about,
I will say too,
like war and revenge and pacifism and all that.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing, is like there's a lot of different themes here, and I feel like it doesn't really miss with any of them, and none of them feel too on the nose. Like they're well, everything in this is kind of well done in terms of like the themes. I will say though that it definitely has some, in terms of the plot, some Miyazaki-isms, as I'd call them, where like the man is on the record for saying that he's kind of like, what's the sentence that Michael Scott says? Sometimes he starts a finish and just starts a sentence and then just finds where it goes along the way. So like he doesn't really have a plan all the time for what he does. Like he actually said that character is played by Billy Bob Thornton, the priest guy there. He apparently like put him in the movie and didn't know what he was going to do yet, like what his role was, until like he just kind of found it along the way, which I feel like you can kind of see, because
I can feel that with
meanders a bit.
Yeah. He just feels like kind of like a quirky guy, and then by the end of the movie, he's like this super soldier kind of guy. Like it's very strange. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
character.
he just kind of does these I call it a Miyazaki-ism, where he just kind of like will do something and not really care too much about the like how it works. Like the other thing too is I feel like in the beginning of the movie, Ashitaka's little girlfriend there gives him that little like dagger or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, what was the point of that? Like it really did nothing for the plot of the
doesn't come
movie.
up.
And
Yeah, no, it never comes up again.
It doesn't come up at all. There's no purpose to it at all.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Chekhov's gun?
Yeah.
This is Chekhov's dagger, where it just never comes up again. Yeah.
Yeah, but he just doesn't care because he's Miyazaki, and he's just like, I'm more concerned with making you feel this cool experience.
I thought,
don't worry
for
about
me,
it.
the one that kind of fell flat was the necklace, or like the necklace. Like he gives it to her, but like it doesn't really feel like it ever does anything.
Yeah,
the necklace was the dagger,
like
I think, right?
No, she gave him a dagger, and then she also gave him a necklace, I thought.
Either way, yeah.
Maybe it
both
was
of them.
Yeah,
maybe it was dreamlike, and we're all still dreaming.
It was just one big fever dream.
Yeah. I do appreciate though a lot of it. I do think it is a well-written story, and I think for like a Miyazaki original that he just kind of cribbed a bunch of like other myths into one thing. I think this is like a great story. I think he's one of our great storytellers of our generation for sure. And I feel like that's not a crazy statement to make.
No, I wouldn't say it's a crazy statement.
Pretty
I like the themes. Like it's very timely now, especially like the environmentalism theme, the war theming in it, the revenge, like Jay said. It's all very timely and timeless, I think, in general.
For sure.
I think so too.
It's just appropriate for now, then, in the future. It's and it's not tied to a specific time period as well. When you write a story like this, where it's kind of turn of the century ish setting, it doesn't become stale. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that
it's like a period piece.
I think this movie also did like a really good job of getting across just how Miyazaki feels about all these topics. Like I know that you guys say that like Boy and the Heron is a biopic and it's like about him, but like I feel like this movie is like, it kind of did a good job of talking about his views and like his world views.
I think that both of what you said is true. I think this one is kind of like his views,
where the other is about
Boy
him.
and the Heron's more of an autobiography about his story.
Yeah, pseudo autobiography for sure.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that, and I think that just comes with being the auteur. You know, like he's he pours a lot of his own thoughts and concerns into his stories, which is
for sure
good.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think it's funny too, because I actually run across another quote too, that one thing, he's famous for loving planes and flying and stuff like that. And you'll notice in this movie that there is no flying at all. Nothing flies in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's because someone said to him before he like wrote this script, they're like, you know, you always put flying in your movie. There's always a big scene when someone flies. And he's like, you're right. Screw you. There's no flying in this movie.
So what you're saying is this movie was made out of spite.
Yeah.
Miyazaki
he's very spiteful.
Yeah. Yes. Miyazaki's like low key kind of my spirit animal. You know? That seems like something I would do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like Mike would come up to me and be like, you always put planes and in your movies. I'd be like, screw you.
No planes.
I'm going to make a movie. No planes.
And it's going to be the best. And it's going to be regarded as the best movie of all time.
Yeah.
I do think this is the least Miyazaki film, I would say. It's if you're not really big into like that Miyazaki fever dream, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro type of dynamic and feeling in the movie, this movie you may enjoy more than
I think it has a lot more of that like mature, realistic, less cartoony style to it, both in like the character designs, but like in how it treats the mystical aspect of it. Like it's not like that like wacky cartoony Mickey Mouse land that like
the mystical aspects in this is scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
Like
it's like it's magical. It's like it's not like
the 8 people are terrifying.
Yeah.
The like blind boar towards the end of the movie who kind of wants to fight the people. He's scary.
The curses are like
the curses. Yeah. It's kind of like nature.
I feel like this movie is like the first time I watched it, I feel like I didn't really appreciate how kind of scary this movie actually is.
It'd be scary.
I'm surprised it only got like a PG, because it was a PG rating back in the day. And like I'm surprised that it was only a PG rating and not like a PG-13 or something, because there's some pretty graphic stuff in here, and it's like it's pretty like just honestly disturbing. Like that opening scene where the boar comes in, he's got the worms flying off him and stuff, and then they just like his corpse disintegrates in front of your eye. It's like this is pretty scary for like an 8-year-old, you know?
Ashitaka like summoning like that supernatural strength and just like
decapitating
slicing. Like slicing and dicing.
He shot off people's heads with an arrow, which is like nuts.
Great scene.
It's also just like it's great.
Which time he does it multiple times.
But like it's also just like got crazy body horror to it on the human side. Like just his arm like spasming because of the curse and things like that. Like
it's a good body horror flick for sure.
Yeah, it's got cool stuff. I really like this film for the mature. I wouldn't say like it's his exclusive mature film. Like I feel
it's
like
one
even
of his
Boy
most
in
mature
the
for sure.
Even Boy and the Heron has mature aspects to it in terms of like thematic elements, but like it's probably the most visually mature.
Yeah,
like,
I think
we've got body parts flying off. We've got blood. We've got stuff.
Yeah, and I think personally, like I appreciated it for that, because like coming out of Boy and the Heron, I was not a fan of that like whimsical thing that like you'd also see in Trigger, and like that's kind of what I like in it too, just because like
not a fan of whimsy. Because like Jay, you're not a fan of whimsy.
I don't know. I like my stories that have more like it takes itself a bit more seriously.
Okay, that checks out.
So like, I felt like this movie took itself a lot more seriously than Boy and the Heron, where it had like the heron with the big nose and the like very over designed caricature like figure. This didn't really have that as much. It was there, but like it wasn't as noticeable.
It's subdued the whimsy for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit more subtle.
Something like when you're watching Boy and the Heron or My Neighbor Totoro or Spirited Away, like part of you thinks like, wait, did the character just fall asleep and this is all just a dream?
Yeah.
Where this, like, it feels like, no, this is like, of course, it's a fantastical story, but it feels like this makes
is
sense
the world.
in the world.
Yeah,
this is the world. There's no Spirited Away aspect to it in this. I don't mean in the movie sense. I mean in the sense that like this is.
It's not like an Alice in Wonderland
being taken
scenario.
to another world. Yeah, it's not an isekai, so to speak. Yeah.
And I appreciate too that like he managed to fit so many. Like most movies will have one big theme in it, right? It'll be like, oh, this is about we're killing the environment, or oh, this is about how humans are morally gray in general, or this is about how humans should work together with nature. They'll usually have one theme and they'll kind of stick to it. He manages to like pack in all of those at once and more all in one, and kind of like artfully thread the needle to like have them not be on the nose and have them actually kind of hit home at the end.
Yeah. It feels nice. Yeah. It feels good.
It flows good. Yeah.
It flows
that was the other thing I really liked about this movie. I think that like, and I compared it to Boy and the Heron a lot because like that was the other Ghibli movie I'd seen.
Sure.
But like I thought that this movie was paced a lot better. I feel like the setup made like you got it when
it's paced more conventionally. I'd say.
Yeah, it's more of a traditional 3-act.
I think that like Boy and the Heron,
which is why this is probably okay. Go ahead.
Up till maybe like the end, like the end of the first act just felt really slow, whereas like this one, it felt like all 3 acts were engaging and entertaining.
Yeah,
I actually, I kind of agree with what you're saying. Like it really. I can't think of a moment when I was watching this movie when I was like, okay, the pace is kind of it's dragging, or okay, now it's going too fast. I don't understand what's happening. Like, I really feel like it's honestly paced perfectly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I would change about the pacing of it.
It certainly helps, like opening on an action scene.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
Like the movie basically opens with the chase down of the boar god who's possessed, which I just want to touch a little bit on animation. Like people always poo-poo CGI in anime. That scene, like a lot of the curse stuff was all CGI, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, people don't realize this movie had a bit of CGI in it too.
And it's unnoticeable.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
The only time I noticed it was when there's a scene where they're running, and I think they use CGI to do the landscape as they're running, and the landscape looked kind of CGI to me. But like, it's so well done that I didn't notice it that bad. But Jay, you said you noticed it?
I did notice it, but like at the same time, like I kept going like, but that doesn't make any sense. Miyazaki hates CGI. Why would CGI be in this movie?
Because you think he hates CGI. The man runs on spite.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the thing that I kept going back to in my mind was Chainsaw Man episode 1, when people were like, "Oh, this is CGI and it looks terrible," and the people that worked on it were like, "This isn't CGI.
This is not
CGI."
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, but
it's exactly the opposite. Yeah. People think, "Wow, this looks great for hand animation," and it's like, actually, there's quite a bit of CGI in this scene.
This seems like a good segue into like the visuals of it.
Yeah, we could talk about animation next. I mean, of course, it's a Ghibli film. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Say what you will, whether like I'm kind of in between you two in terms of like enjoying Ghibli films.
I guess we should say that is like, I'm probably the biggest Ghibli film. Jay famously this is his second Ghibli movie, so I can't even say you have an opinion at this point. Whereas, like you're forming your opinion still, I guess I should say. And then Cole is kind of like a lukewarm, like some he likes, some he doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And yes, they always look amazing.
They always
except for as long as Miyazaki's involved.
Yeah, Miyazaki films always look amazing. Yeah, and I mean, just the design of stuff, like the forest spirit is so creepy.
It like has hands for feet and like almost like that baboon human face.
Like face.
Yeah.
It's so I love it because it's so otherworldly that it's almost like, you know what? If there was like a god of the forest, it wouldn't look like what you think. It would be creepy, and
it just like cool. Looks at you.
Yeah,
it just like looks at you with like these not dead eyes, but like
they're like goat eyes, kind of.
It's like looking through
this
you,
little bit of a smirk.
Yeah. And I love the element of it, like where it steps, it like runs through the whole life cycle of these plants that it's stepping through. So like the flowers will bloom and then die. It's so cool.
I love that scene where like it's like slowly sinking into the water because something happens, and then like it picks its foot back up and goes back on.
You thought
on the surface.
Yeah, you thought it was done, and then it's like, no, I'm a god.
Yeah, it climbs back up onto it like steps back up onto the surface of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, the animation, it's great, of course. It's not maybe great for podcasting because I mean, what else is there to say about it, right?
Yeah.
The action scenes are great, which is nice for
action scenes are great. The landscapes are great. It's almost boring because it's so great. What do you say?
The thing I liked about the action scenes in this movie is like it didn't feel overly choreographed, which like you can get a lot of times in action. It felt like just like a natural fight. Like you don't get like that overly like mind melding action. It's just like someone swings a sword and
somebody's head goes flying.
Yeah. I think part of that too is maybe that like Miyazaki is kind of famously a pacifist.
Yeah.
So like his movies are never really going to be about true conflict and action.
I mean, one of my favorite action scenes isn't really even an action scene, but it's the scene where San is like breaking into the Iron Town, and she's just like running over rooftops. There's no there's no soundtrack to it. It's just like her footsteps, and it's just so fast.
I loved how animalistic she looked running too. Like she didn't look
like it was just as she's running over the rooftops and jumping down, and
she really looked like someone who'd be like literally raised by wolves. Like that. It really, she looked the part for sure.
Yeah. No, it's the action scenes work because they work.
I have a bit of a tidbit for you that I think is interesting too. Is
I love tidbits.
This movie cost 2.4 times the amount as Akira.
Of Akira?
The other movie that's kind of like in the greatest anime movie Hall of Fame.
That's surprising.
It was 2.4 billion yen, whereas Akira was about $1 million yen or $1 billion yen.
Wow. So over 2 times
interesting,
as much.
Hey?
That is interesting. I don't. Okay, here's my first critique of the movie then. I don't see why it would cost 2 times as much as Akira.
I don't know either. Maybe it's the CG, because CG was probably really expensive back in the day.
Yeah, they were trying to do like more experimental stuff. Akira to me is still like the way they utilize like light and stuff in that film is so unique to it. Whereas this feels like it's pretty traditional. I don't know why it would cost so much.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual cost is for. I just thought that was interesting that it cost that much more. But it was also like the highest grossing anime movie for a long time too. And it's the movie that kind of broke through into the West for Ghibli films as well. Yeah.
I could see that. It has more of a universal appeal. It is definitely still like, I could see like, I don't know, say your mom or your dad watching this and being like, okay, this is very like Asian. Whereas something like, say, well, Akira. Oh no, never mind. Akira's based in Tokyo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel overly.
I don't know where I'm going
to me
with this.
though.
Yeah.
I know what you're kind of saying. Is that it still feels a little anime, but I don't think it's overly anime. I feel like if you show this to just your average person, because it's got a decent dub too. Like it's got I feel like it's very appealing to the normies of anime because it's got star power in the dub, and it's also like a beautiful movie.
Yeah, I will say the dub is legitimately great, except for Billy Bob Thornton.
Who phoned it in?
Who phoned it in?
Definitely
Big
phoned it
time.
in.
Yeah. But like, I mean, Gillian Anderson, Claire Danes is San, Minnie Driver is like, people always praise her with being Eboshi. Jada Pinkett Smith is in this, and you know she's everybody's favorite.
Crazy.
Everybody's favorite person right now. It's got a really good cast for the English dub. I don't know the Japanese as much, but I feel like Ghibli usually uses actors in their movies that just don't translate over here. Like we know Seiyu and not necessarily Japanese actors as much, I think.
Yeah, because they do the same thing over there with the Japanese dubs for Ghibli films usually, where they'll use like actual actors, like stage actors, as opposed to voice actors.
Yeah.
So,
and sorry, I should preface that by saying, when I say people that we don't know, I mean literally the three of us don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure that there are lots of people who
anime
know
culture gets you familiar with seiyus, not so much Japanese live action actors.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to be said about the animation. I think we think it's good.
It's boring to say that the animation is amazing. You know, like it looks amazing. Like I can't think of really anything that looked bad at all.
No, even the CGI works.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think it was blended in well with the hand-drawn stuff.
Yeah. What about the character designs, if you want to talk more about visuals?
Well, I love the character designs. It's Ghibli, but not like overly Ghibli, you know, like they don't have that usual Ghibli, like they do, but they don't. I don't know how to explain it. Can you guys?
They don't have that like grotesqueness that you sometimes see in Ghibli movies. Like,
What?
I mean, I'm gonna go back to the heron, but like, the like
Okay, I
weird,
see what you're saying.
uncanny design that like is kind of caricature-y.
Yeah,
You know?
and
Oh,
I
I
think
see what
that's
you're
what
saying.
makes. I think that's what makes like something like the forest spirit stand out,
Mhm.
because that is so otherworldly, whereas everything else is very grounded in terms of design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes
Yeah,
things
and-
like this forest spirit or the Kodama very like, this
Mhm.
is weird.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
rattling heads and stuff.
It almost, it amplifies how like crazy and otherworldly they are for sure.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
will say too that like San, the titular Princess Mononoke, is like such a iconic, great character design.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
And apparently her and Ashitaka both like predate this movie by like 20 years as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Like he'd drawn them in the 70s or something.
Mm. No,
And
I
they
mean,
just-
like
he just
San
basically
is like,
shoehorned them in.
yeah, she's kind of iconic. Like when she's got like the blood on her face,
Hmm.
when she
Yeah.
turns to the camera and like wipes the blood off. It's so,
In that opening scene. Yeah.
yeah. It's yeah.
It's so
No,
cool though, because it shows like it's such a brutal thing. Like she's literally sucking blood out of the wound where this
Mhm.
wolf got shot.
Hmm.
But it like is kind of beautiful in a way. It's kind of a good like summary of this whole movie is like it's so brutal
Mhm.
but beautiful at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. Yeah, no, character design is
Yeah.
good. I like the wolf's design as well. Like, of course, they
Hmm.
have enough humanness to them to like be able to emote,
Hmm.
but not so much that they don't like they look like wolves.
Yeah, like there's no
You know what I
uncanny
mean?
valleyness to the wolf design.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to talk about characters while we're talking about their designs?
Yeah, we're here already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ashitaka is your classic. I wouldn't call him a cinnamon roll, but he's pretty.
He's the chaotic good guy.
He's a plain bagel.
Yeah.
He's
Not
a
a
plain
cinnamon roll.
bagel. He's a plain bagel with a little bit of like some kind of spicy something on it, jalapenos on it.
yeah.
Or something. Because I mean, the guy
Yeah.
knows how to take care of himself.
Yeah.
But he's
a
kind of.
prince.
I don't want to call him naive, but he almost has that air about him where he wants to like see the good in everybody,
Mhm.
as opposed to wanting to fight immediately, as
Mhm.
opposed to Son, who is the opposite of that.
Chaotic almost.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
call her evil either.
I'd say
but
like chaotic good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that checks out.
yeah.
Putting her on the thing. But like I think that like Ashitaka does a good job of like reflecting Miyazaki's views on pacifism, because like I mean he is a pacifist.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting way he approaches pacifism, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Like he
Yeah,
I think
like
it's like a
it's kind of
realistic
Yeah.
like
violence needs to happen sometimes
Mhm.
in order to
But it's not a
defend
good thing.
yourself.
yeah.
yeah.
But you want to do everything you can to avoid it.
Yeah.
Up until the point where there is no choice. Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And like, I think I saw a quote from Miyazaki too, where he was talking about Ashitaka and saying that he like kind of identifies with him a little bit because he's a guy trying to do what's right, but he's got that darkness in him at the same time that he kind of wrestles with.
Mhm.
He's got that dog
In this
him.
case, he's got that dog. in him.
Literal
also-
darkness.
He's got
Mhm.
literal darkness in
Yeah.
him too. But
Mhm. I will say something that I do enjoy about the characters is there is no like, speaking of Jay's like good evil dynamic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that there's any evil characters. Like even our villain, like
No.
Yeah.
Iboshi, I would say is lawful good. Like she sticks to the rules, but
Mhm.
like what she's doing is to better her people's lives. Unfortunately,
Yeah, it's kind of
her
more of like
views are
a
at the expense of
imperialistic
Mhm.
mentality and value system over like that, I guess, Marxist value system, I'd say.
We're getting into political theory here.
Yeah, good old.
Yeah, sure. Though I'd buy that. Yeah, she's concerned about the welfare of her people. Even if she has to.
That's one thing that I really like about all the characters in this movie is they all have, you understand their motivations. They all make sense. Like, and even the people who are supposedly the villains, like the wolves are kind of the villains because they're kind of an antagonist. And then the lady Eboshi is kind of an antagonist too, because but at the same time, like she takes in like all these people and like basically like it's like Santa's island of misfit toys that she has in her little iron town there.
Yeah, I mean,
and then even the guy who's like trying to hunt and kill God, you kind of get it because he's basically just doing a job for his king, basically, right? Like he's kind of just like, I'm just here because he told me to do it.
In terms of like what kind of conflict it is, I kind of think it's more of a man versus God conflict, only because like the real villain of the story is the concept of war. Right? Like, because
just fighting in general.
That's what he's trying to stop. Like, he's trying to resolve everything in the most peaceful way possible.
Yeah. War and reckless industrialism, I would say, is probably the other.
Probably the overwhelming theme that he kind of goes for is that humanity being in like the Industrial Revolution and stuff kind of killed God to just make nature just like biological nature. You know, like it took the fantastical out of it, and now it's just plants. You know.
Yeah, guys, this movie's pretty deep.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty deep movie Miyazaki penned here.
Yeah.
So,
who's your best boy and best girl?
Before we moved on, I was gonna say, does anyone have anything negative to say about this movie?
I do think, like I said at the beginning, that there are some Miyazaki-isms where he kind of just, and don't get me wrong, I don't care, but if I had to critique it in some way, some of the stuff seems a little, you can tell where he didn't really think too much about it. Like I'm surprised that Jay's not bringing up more about the supposed romance of this movie between Ashitaka.
I was waiting for us to get there.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the big critiques people bring up. But in my heart of hearts, I think I view love similar to Miyazaki, and this is how I feel. I feel like we view it similarly, where like I don't think these two characters are in love. I think they just maybe acknowledge that they like each other and maybe they're closer to friends.
Well, like he did say, like he wanted to spend the rest of his life with her.
There is that scene where he talks about like wanting to like, you know, bring her into his room and you know, like,
no, that was in your head, Cole, that part.
And, you know, like hentai.
Yeah.
You know, like
it got really dark at that point.
Really graphic.
Really graphic.
I don't remember that scene. I think that might have been in your guys' heads.
Sorry.
That was the fantasy.
Or you're reading that was the Daojin you were reading.
So my personal critique was like, I felt like the emotional depth of the story altogether was just kind of lacking. Like I didn't really feel any like strong emotion from any of the characters, if that makes sense.
I'd agree with that. I think in this one, the emotion is it's not really about the characters so much as it's more about the plot and the events that are happening.
Yeah. I don't want to get like into the weeds about like, oh, well, you know, but like maybe it's like a Buddhist thing. Like there's one character who is emotional, and that's San, and she represents like that primal instinct. Whereas everybody else, like Ashitaka, is very like Zen. So he doesn't, maybe that's part of it. Maybe he doesn't get emotional because that's like, it's about stoicism.
Maybe. At the same time though, like, because of that, like trying to attach yourself to the characters, like it could be a bit difficult.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I'm just justifying.
I get that. But yeah, like I said, I think this one, it's not so much like this one's not as much about the characters as
I think my point is like if you're looking if you're someone who appreciates character pieces,
this isn't a character
there's not
piece.
really much.
I think if you appreciate character pieces, I think you'd be less inclined to like Miyazaki films, who's more about the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'd like his partner, Toshio Suzuki, because he kind of focuses on like the everyday life and like the relationships and the character dynamics more so, I would say.
Like he did Grave of the Fireflies, I believe, right?
I think so. He did like Ocean Way. Yeah. I'll look it up. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like Grave of the Fireflies is not a Miyazaki movie. It's a Ghibli movie, but it's not a Miyazaki film. And that's definitely probably more of a character piece where Jay would bawl his eyes out.
I'm going to force you guys to watch that one. Did you ever watch it, Cole?
I plead the fifth on this one.
Okay.
There are, honestly though, like,
I'm scared to watch it.
Because of this review, there are a ton of movies that like this has opened the door to that I want to talk about and review.
Oh, I'm excited. We're going to get to watch more Ghibli.
Maybe not necessarily Ghibli.
But other movies that are similar.
Other movies in general.
Are you talking
anime movies?
Are you alluding to Nazca of the Valley of the Wind?
I am not alluding to anything
not a Ghibli film?
Ghibli in particular. Just a ton of anime movies that this segment has opened the door to that maybe we'll.
Oh yeah. Because I think we basically agreed that we're going to try to throw some movies in here once in a while when we're just kind of like not, I don't know, just once in a while we'll review a movie just to change it up, you know?
Yeah, it keeps it fresh. It's a fairly easy review as well for us. It's quick, you know. It's an hour. Most anime movies are an hour and a half flat.
Yeah.
So
this is a longer one.
This was 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's actually at the time it was Studio Ghibli's longest feature length film. I think it might still be, but I can't say that for sure.
It's definitely paced better then because it doesn't feel like it's that long.
Yeah.
It feels like a pretty traditional hour and a half anime movie. I mean, is there anything related to sounds that you guys wanted to? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. You already asked a question. Your question was best boy, best girl.
We need to declare a best boy, best girl.
Best girl is obviously San. I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
She's iconic. She's got a great attitude. I really like her in terms of like, you know, a female badass. It's always nice. I mean, best boy, it's like, who else do you pick other than Ashitaka? I mean, there's not many men in this.
Yeah,
it's
really
kind of like a pretty strong feminist movie as well. Like the men in the village are pretty, I don't want to say useless. Like a lot of the heavy lifting is done by the women in the village.
Ghibli films in general are definitely kind of feminist, and they're like they're not like a we hate men feminism. They're like a women are
also strong. Yeah. So I mean, I guess I'd have to go with the leads in this. I do like Hiboshi as well. I do enjoy her character, but yeah, San and Ashitaka are probably my choices.
I have 2 fun facts about San that Mike kind of alluded to the first one about how San had been created a long time ago. But in the original concept of the movie, and I read this earlier, but like she was the 3rd princess of a kingdom, and that's why her name's San, because 3. Originally she was supposed to be sent off to marry a monster, but that was changed. And also apparently
that monster's name is Mononoke.
That's true. That's true. Go look it up. And the other one is apparently she inspired Ahsoka Tano, like Star Wars.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, honestly. Like, even just looking at her character design.
Yeah.
She looks kind of like Ahsoka, other than Ahsoka being like an alien.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the markings on her face and stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I checked
Thank
that.
you, Jay.
Out.
That was a cool, fun fact.
Yeah.
Round of applause for Jay. No?
No.
I got it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
That's enough.
I misspoke earlier, by the way. It wasn't Suzuki I was thinking of. It was Takahata was the person I was thinking of. Was the other one. He did Grave of the Fireflies. He did My Neighbor the Yamadas, stuff like that.
Okay. And who did that most recent CGI one? Because that's peak Ghibli.
The Earwig and the Witch. That was Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki.
Yeah, that's his son.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
He's
the
trying
guy
so hard.
who his father basically just like beats him down publicly often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, are we all in agreement then for best boy and best girl, or?
I don't know where else you'd go with it. Like you said, I could see. Hi, Ray. Sorry, the cat is. I don't know if you can hear her. She's meowing at me.
Oh, we can hear her.
Yeah. I don't know what she wants. Yeah, I don't know where else you'd go because, like you said, there's not too many boys. Ashitaka is easily the best one, and then there's a lot of really strong female characters, but like the titular Princess Mononoke is such a great character, and that I see why he basically like wrote this movie around her, basically.
Yeah,
and interestingly, I've looked into a lot of stuff about like when it was brought to the West, all the things that like Disney and stuff wanted to change for this movie. And like they kept trying to change the name. They wanted to find a translation for Mononoke. And like they just couldn't. So they stuck with Princess Mononoke.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God they did. Thank God they did.
You know what though? This allows me to complain about translating titles. And sometimes it works, Weathering with You. Like the films from your guy there, Weathering with You, Your Name. What's his name?
Makoto Shinkai. Slipping my mind. Shinkai. There you go. Yeah.
His translations work, because they're still like pretty vague. The Boy and the Heron has an awful English title. It should have stuck with the Japanese translation, which was How Do You Live? Because it just thematically makes more sense. I just wanted to rant about that.
I think the one thing about that title though is like, if people went to that movie thinking it was going to be like a 1-to-1 adaptation of How Do You Live, they're probably going to be disappointed.
No, nobody knows what How Do You Live is.
Yeah, but if you had,
apparently it's a pretty.
But it was called that already in Japanese. Like it worked over there. I just feel like The Boy and the Heron is such like a lazy title. Like How Do You Live makes sense. It's like, how do you live with this guilt and this not guilt, but mourning. Like it just thematically makes way more sense than.
And I think to kind of bring this back to Princess Mononoke is the movie. If the movie title had been Princess Monster or something, it would have been.
Yeah, that would have been
terrible name.
Very
the Monster Princess is probably.
The Monster Princess is how they would go. Yeah. And the other thing that Disney apparently wanted to change when they brought it over was, can you make it like less violent?
No.
And then it was like, no, absolutely not.
I don't know how.
How about Get Bent? Actually,
yeah. Other fun fact: Do you know who directed who like basically penned the English version of the script? So it was translated directly for him.
Okay,
but Neil Gaiman actually wrote this one.
Oh,
famous
that
author
before.
Neil Gaiman. Yeah,
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I just want to ask, Mike, I don't mean to put you on the spot before we go into our final thoughts. Do you have reviews? Do you have?
Oh, I do.
Oh,
I do indeed.
Good.
This movie. Okay, so I get my reviews off AniList, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. We've done this a couple times.
Yeah,
we have 120 episodes, guys. Yeah. We've been here. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And this movie, okay, first review. This movie is without a doubt Hayao Miyazaki's magnum opus. Bold statement, strong statement. I feel like that was written before How Do You Live / Boy and the Heron. I kind of agree with it still in this point, though. I feel like when you say Miyazaki, people either think of Spirited Away or this movie.
When was it written? When was that review written?
Does AniList tell me? I don't actually know.
2 years ago.
It doesn't say when it was written.
2 years ago?
You're on there too?
Yeah. 2 years ago.
No, I wouldn't even agree with that.
If you click on the review, it says in the top right corner.
Okay.
The Wind Rises came out in 2013. I'd probably say at that point, that was probably his, like, this is my retirement piece. This is my magnum opus.
Fun fact, actually, he apparently made this movie with someone actually pitched it to him as like, look, you're getting old. You can't animate much longer. So like make your magnum opus now. This is supposed to be probably his last movie.
I've heard that a few times with when The Boy and the Heron came out, with people saying he said The Wind Rises was supposed to be his last movie, and then other people would come in and say he's been saying that since the late 90s. Princess Mononoke was supposed to be his retirement movie. So
he always
done
comes
this a
back.
few times.
He's gonna come back again.
Is fueled by spite.
Yeah.
I think he's already announced his next movie, to be honest with you. Next review. A beleza da natureza é asqueado do ser humano.
I agree.
Yeah, it is Hamano.
The most influential piece of art on my life is Princess Mononoke. It is my favorite film out of the thousands I've seen.
Well, I mean, what can we say about that? That's a very personal take.
Yeah,
so
that's very
I'm sure it is.
very
I agree with
personal.
it.
Yeah.
I agree with his take about his.
I agree that it
movie.
is very influential to him or her.
Yeah.
Or to them.
Them is a good word to use.
Or
there.
them, yeah.
I like this. I like this one. A masterful example in atmospheric storytelling. I think that kind of is a great. I really agree with that. Yeah. Oh, and we should also say that the score is great. It's Joe Hisaishi. He's kind of like he's done all of the Ghibli movies. He does fantastic work. Yeah. I don't know if there's too many more of these reviews that I think is great. One says Yakul is the best character. Said Yaku best boy for sure.
Which one's Yaku?
The red deer that he rides.
Oh yeah, he's great. You know what though? Let me just go off. Let me go off, okay?
Go off, King.
And I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I don't like I don't like dogifying animals that aren't dogs. This is my old man shakes fist at cloud moment. They just like it's a deer. Like deer aren't dog like. I don't know. Sometimes you write animals and they kind of make them seem like the way a dog would act, like they're, dog like. I don't know. Never mind.
I don't know what to say. I know what you're saying. I just don't know what to say to that.
I just wanted to look up the Metacritic score for Princess Mononoke. It's a 76, generally favorable.
Really,
and the
that's
user score is 8.7. 76
on
a 76 on Metacritic is quite high.
Is it? Okay.
Metacritic is weighted, right? So they take every score. It's not like Rotten Tomatoes where it's either a positive or a negative review. Like they weight the score, so it's 100 or a 90 or an 80 or a 75, and then they factor in all of that. Yeah, Metacritic is a better scale, in my opinion, to figure out if a movie is.
This has been Cole's Metacritic Minute.
Thank you. Let's go into final thoughts. Let's start with Jay.
Yeah, let's wrap her up. Yeah.
I think in terms of a pure film that you can just pop in and watch, and I'm comparing this to Boy and the Heron here. I prefer this. I think that like Boy and the Heron, you kind of, to appreciate it more, you need like all that history of Ghibli. Whereas this is just like a fun pop in and play, has like great themes, a great message, and like it's and great animation. Maybe a bit lighter in the character department, but depending on how you feel about that would determine. Yeah, I'd say check it out. And if they for some reason made a sequel to this movie, I would consider checking it out. I would
say instead of consider continuing, let's say consider rewatching for movies. Yeah.
The problem with that is I wouldn't rewatch this.
The spirit
you're so literal. Yeah.
The spirit, we understand the spirit. It's funny, before we started recording, Jay was like, nah, this is going to be a why from me, he said. And I knew this movie's too good to say that you hated it. I knew that you appreciate it. You're a smart guy.
Am I?
Yeah. To go into, I'll segue that into my final thoughts. I think this movie is a universally appealing movie. I think there's something here for almost anyone. And that's why they basically picked this movie as the introduction to the West into the world of Ghibli, because it is basically, it's a simple story that's really easy to follow, that gives you a good taste of the Ghibli atmosphere. And like I guess I should really say Miyazaki atmosphere, because it's really, that's what you mean when you say Ghibli in this sense. It gives you a taste, but it's simple enough, and it cuts down on like the hippy dippy fairy stuff that kind of like throws people like Cole off a bit, where it's like, I want a plot, I don't want a dream state. Whereas This has the Ghibli vibe that's like the patented like dream state, like you're just in it just to go along for the ride and don't turn your brain off and just kind of feel your way through it. This has more of a plot to it. It has more of a direct storyline. I think it benefits from that for sure, because it's a great introduction to the world of Ghibli. And I think it's definitely a must watch for almost anyone trying to get into anime. I think it's really a good way to show you what anime can do. And it'd be a great movie to show your parents, to say, hey, look, anime can have a good meaning and a good message. And I enjoy that it doesn't, even though it was kind of, I believe, written a little bit with like the Western mind in sight a little bit, because some of the characters are kind of based off of like Western mythological figures and stuff. I think it does a good job of staying true to its roots. And it, like in a Western, if this movie was made in Hollywood, it wouldn't end the way it does with the forest spirit and all that. It would end with Ashitaka and San riding in on the back of that red deer to this San's home, or Ashitaka's home village, and then there'd be like a applaud. Everyone would be applauding and clapping, and then they'd give them medals or something, kind of like the end of Star Wars.
Yeah,
and I think it's better for
and then Linkin Park would start playing at the end.
Yeah. I think it's a great introduction to the world of Ghibli, and I think it's a great film all the way through. It's not my favorite Ghibli film though, and I can't say I love it, but how can I not say it's AniPro certified? I'd feel like I'd be lying if I said anything other than that, just because it's certified. It's certified by more than AniPro. I think I that's where I'd have to go with this one.
Yeah. And as far as my thoughts go, I'd probably echo Mike's. This was my favorite Ghibli film for a long time, until I saw The Wind Rises, and of course, Boy and the Heron. It's the least Ghibli film. If you've seen lots of Ghibli movies, this is probably something close to, say, Nausicaa, as opposed to something like Spirited Away. Great movies all around for sure, but there's definitely a line between like the dreamlike and the more thematic like specific grounded story. Yeah. This definitely falls into that latter category. The dub is really good. The animation, of course, is great. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. And going off what Mike said, it's not my favorite, but I would be remiss to not give it an AniPro certified as well. That's pretty much what I would say about that. I think it's good. It's
a classic for a reason, right? Like, it's when people bring up great anime movies, this one's always in the conversation. It's hard not to recognize that, I guess, is what add on.
Yeah. Now, Jay, we're not committing to anything, but I'm curious, like when you watched this, what you said that there was other movies that made you.
Yeah. What would you suggest our next one would be? I'm curious.
Like, you've watched this. What would you suggest people watch after this?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So when I said that, I wasn't saying like I want to watch a movie because of this specific movie, but like the idea of doing movie reviews open the door to more movie reviews.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Then.
But
that's
like, I mean, I feel like if you like this, more Ghibli movies would probably be the way to go. Or like, go watch Suzume.
Yeah, it's very similar to Suzume actually, in terms of kind of how it plays out and like the spirit of it a bit.
Yeah, whimsy but not
it's
whimsy.
A little more grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a little more raw.
Yeah,
put that on the poster. Whimsy but not whimsy. That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
Just put the word raw on the poster.
Raw.
I'm curious, Jay.
Yeah.
What's your next Ghibli film?
Probably Wind Rises.
Okay. I got him.
You got him, Cole.
The Wind Rises is definitely another, like, not very Ghibli, because it's like a biography about a specific person.
It's an adaptation.
It's an adaptation about somebody's biography.
Yeah.
It's about somebody.
Yeah. I
love
yeah.
it. I love
Jay,
Moonrise.
I think you should watch The Tale of Princess Kaguya. I think you'd like that. It's Takahata's like magnum. It's the last film he made before he died. He spent like super long time making it, and it's just a retelling of like the Princess Kaguya story where she came from the moon and stuff like that. Very good.
Yeah,
really
I mean,
like it.
there are a lot of really, really good anime movies that I want to check out. Like, I want to check out Perfect Blue, and Millennium Actress. Those are probably the two
You guys
that
want to
like
make one of those
are on my bucket list.
the next movie?
Well, we can discuss it off
We
air.
can
I
discuss
kind
it
of like
off air.
springing these on people.
Yeah.
I like giving them a week.
I don't. Oh,
I do.
Okay, I don't like that.
I do.
You're mean to people though, so
Well, it's a week
checks
to
out.
watch a movie. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
I believe in people. I believe in people. Yeah, but this was episode 120 of AniPro. Bye.
Yep.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
No, you can follow
Gotta
us
do
on
the
social
spiel.
media. Yeah, we got a whole spiel. I got a script that I'd never follow. You can follow us on social media at AniProPod. Leave a like, review, subscribe, give us 5 stars. Tell a friend about us. Get us to go viral. Whatever that means. Links to everything's at our website, AniProPod.com. You can join our Discord. We got watch parties over there, games, chats. That's the place to talk to us. Except for me, because my push notifications don't work. But maybe I'll get them
We'll
to
fix
work.
that. We'll get that.
We'll fix it. Yeah, I'll need Mike to
Talk
come
to
take a
AniPro
look
Tech
at it.
support. Yeah, me.
Yeah. And if you really like us, you can support us financially on Patreon. You also get some extra benefits over there. Early episode, bonus episode, extra vote, special chat in the Discord, priority mailbag. You also get your name read every week by one of us. And this week, Jay, do you have the list?
No.
Okay,
crap.
it's fine. It's fine. I've got the list. I got the list. Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Super Mexi, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mogmog, and Freeren's Feet. Freeren's Feet, I just want to point out, to this day, is still in bold because we love that name so much.
We do like Free Runs Feed. This is a Free Runs Feed friendly podcast. Yes,
it is. Now, Jay, why don't you wrap it up?
Well, that's all, folks. Bye.
Just like Miyazaki, Jay cannot do as
No.
he's told.
No.
Bye.
As we say,
No,
as we do at the end of every episode, and I mean every episode, you can go back and check of the Anime Protagonist podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.